Okay, the arch, however, has gone. So your neutral spine has gone from an arch and just squashed down without anything else moving or shifting around. So in actual fact, you're doing this with your spine. Okay, relax again, bend the knees. So imagine this. Imagine the Sydney Harbour Bridge superimposed into the arch of your lower back. You've got one pylon, which is your hip, the other pylon, which is your rib cage. That arch will be there when you are in this position here, or in legs straight down on the ground. But when the legs are in the air, that arch has disappeared. But those pylons have not moved. So consequently, what is happening to your back is this. It's compacting on itself. So therefore, you're going to get a strain in the back. You're going to strain your hip flexors. Not great for the exercising. Also, because you're compacting your lower back muscles and you're squeezing them tight, there are muscles that attach from the base of your spine to the base of your skull. If you squeeze these muscles here and then you try and curl forward, you're going to strain your neck. So let's take your legs back up again. The back is now flat. Hip flexors are straining because we're not getting legs straight. Now try curling forward. Okay, hands mid-thigh level. Just stay there. Don't grab your legs. Just fingers forward. Okay, notice how much elevation there is here. Notice how much abdominal connection there is. So just move that hand out there. Notice how much the abs are up or down. Okay, hand back forward again. And also how much neck strain you're getting after maybe even 5 seconds. Okay, because these muscles are being pulled down this way. Okay, relax back down again. So what we're going to do here is what we call the offering. We've taken the name the offering from an exercise on the reformer called the offering, where you've got your hands in the straps and you're extending your arms forward like this. It's called the offering. So I need you to roll your backside up into the air, grab your butt, roll your spine down one bone at a time. So you're imprinting your spine down onto the floor and lengthening it out away from you when you get towards your backside. So you're offering your butt to your heels. That's how we got the name offering. So now there should be no arch in the back at all. Okay, so let's go back to that test exercise. So bend the knees up, take the legs vertically into the air. Notice where the legs are now. They're not over here like they were initially. They're automatically here. Curl forward again, reaching mid-thigh level. Again, notice the elevation. The elevation is better. And also, the neck doesn't look like it's pulled back there. It actually looks more comfortable. How does that feel? Yes. Okay, if we move that arm out of the way just there for a second, the abs also don't look like they're poking out either. They look actually flatter than they were before. Okay? And relax back down again. So the offering is a huge, huge, huge thing that must be done in a lot of exercises which involve contraction. Otherwise, you will strain your neck and your back. The other major thing that we've got now, which we're working on abdominal strength and abdominal core, is a thing called the blast breath. Earlier, we talked about ocean breath. And ocean breath was in through the nose for a 5 count and a loud sigh out of the mouth for a 5 count, without holding your breath and without blowing. If you blow, you can actually see the strain in the neck muscles here. Okay? Certain exercise programs do blow, but here it's so actually just let your jaw drop and let the air come out. So you can squeeze and use your abdominal muscle to do that. So get all the air out of your lungs. Like Pilates said, it's like wringing water out of a towel. Get every last atom of air out of your lungs. Okay? So what we're going to do here with a blast breath is we're going to do an exercise which actually connects your abdominals, which is very, very important to help you work the rest of the abdominals. Kara, just curl forward again with hands at mid-thigh level, just ribs to hips there. Again, notice how much elevation there is here. And now go down onto your side, lie on your side, facing the front. We've created this exercise called lateral core control, which basically is to control the lateral core muscles here. Straighten your legs, bring them around at a 45-degree angle. Your hands on there, that's it. The hand underneath the head is palm up, so you don't push palm down, so you don't cheat by pushing down. A little bit of a tuck, okay? Feet flexed, one on top of the other, that's it. And you're going to lift the legs into the air with a blast breath. Now, the definition of a blast breath is all the air out of your lungs in less than a quarter second. Okay, it goes like this. And then slow breath in. Have you ever had a coughing or a laughing fit and your abs kill you? Notice the action of that cough or the laugh. It connects these muscles here very, very firmly, and it's these side ones, and they kill like anything. So blast breath is actually very, very good for your transverse abdominal muscles. Laughing is fantastic for your core. So take a breath in, keep the shoulder blade relaxed here, and a blast breath out. Good. And touch and lift. You're going to do it about, we'll do 10 of these. Try, if you can, not to rest the legs so you can feel that the arm isn't relaxing either. But there's a bit of cheating going on here because there's a push on the arm. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It still works these muscles. And if you put your fingers in there, you'll actually feel them working quite a lot. We're going to try and stabilize here more by holding that position there so you're not rolling back too much. We don't mind, and relax, and let's change sides. We don't mind if you cheat a little bit. It is much better to get the muscle working, to get the movement going without any discomfort or pain, because you're actually still working the muscle. Trying to get it specifically done from the very, very first repetition just doesn't make sense. So get the body moving, get it working, because as you get the muscles connected, we'll then define them so that we can then make them work more specific later. Okay, lengthen out, take a breath in, and a blast. Now, the legs are at a 45-degree angle forward. And I'll show the difference in a second as to why we want it at 45 degrees. And it's much tougher. Most people won't even be able to lift their legs here. 2 more. Use the blast breath. That's it. And relax. Okay. Lying on your back again with your head up over here where we were originally. And do the offering. Okay. And again, just curl forward with the hands at mid-thigh level. Okay. Again, if you notice the difference here, there's more height in here and less neck strain. But coming back to the abs, how do your abs feel now connecting compared to before?
Better, stronger.
Better, stronger. Is there more area connecting?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're actually going to feel sides here as well connecting. Not just your rectus abdominis, which is that six-pack that you're trying to do this all the time, because these don't work. If these work, they will also work in forward flexion and they will help you with this. So if you start straining from your rectus abdominis, it will give way and you'll start straining your neck or you'll strain your back. But if these are supporting you, you can stay up for a lot longer. Another very important point when it comes to abdominal connection is the psoas muscle. Just to keep it very, very brief, your psoas muscle is a muscle that attaches from the lower lumbar vertebra, comes across the pelvis, and attaches to the top of your femur or your thigh bone on the inside, the medial side of your femur. The action of that muscle is a hip flexor. Basically, it flexes the bones from the hip, so it'll assist in lifting the leg up when you're standing or sitting. It also assists in, once you've done a small stomach crunch and your six-pack, your rectus abdominis has done the work, it lifts you into an upright sitting position. So that small muscle in the back can actually do an enormous amount of work. If your abdominals are weak, it becomes very, very strong and it arches your back a lot more. So one way that we have discovered to try and stretch this muscle is actually with a new position that we have in all our programs called Menezes position. Now, this is what this involves, and we're going to show you this from a point of view of how the effect is on your back. So what I'd like you to do is, you've done the offering already, Cara, so you're going to draw your knees up to your chest, take your legs up into the air. We're not going to strain your neck here at all, so we're just going to keep your head down on the ground, palms are up. Keep your legs as straight as you comfortably can. Your back is still flat. Okay, in this position here, if we draw a line from the navel to the spine, that'll hit it, like we mentioned before, your L2, L3 vertebra. Imagine there's a coin under there. We call that the lumbar coin. Okay, that coin is now flat. Underneath the sacrum, or near your tailbone, just above your tailbone, there's a bone there called the sacrum. In the center of that, there is another coin called your sacral coin. When both coins are down, we call that stable spine compared to neutral spine. So when you've got stable spine, your tailbone, sacral area is down, and your lumbar area is down. So there's nothing tilting anywhere. So what we're going to do is you're going to keep your lumbar coin down and lower the legs to where you feel your back is, where that lumbar coin is just about to lift. Okay? So this is the angle here. Watch the angle here. And also, if you notice, this is starting to pop up over here. So let's go back up here to the center again. So this time we're going to go into Menezes position. We're going to try and stretch that psoas. The psoas will stretch by turning the femur inwards. So internal rotation of the femur like that. So the toes come together. Sometimes you might find that this is going to strain a lot of people on the muscles here. It just takes getting used to, but it does strain quite a bit there. So we've now got the knees turned in, we've got the feet turned in, the heels are open, and now lower the legs to where your lumbar coin stays down. Okay, notice the lumbar coin is flatter. This is not poking up. Look at the height of the legs, much, much lower, and then come back up again. Okay, so you can see from here that by internally rotating the femur, just keep your hands out by your sides there for a second. So get into Menezes position again, flex your feet, pull the toes back. Good. The knees are open here as well. Okay, so keep the lumbar coin down because we can see the shot in the side view here, and lower the legs to where the lumbar coin stays flat. Okay. Okay, so there's no arch in the back there. Okay, hold that position. Now bring your feet back together again, heels together. And notice how your back wants to really, really strain and struggle to come back up there, and this is popping up, and you can't hold it there for long. Okay? So on most of the exercises that involve the legs in the air, you've got Menezes position where the toes are together, the knees are open. There are other exercises here, for example, if you're doing stomach crunches. Feet are on the ground. Make sure there's a right angle at the knee joint, so the feet have to go a bit further away. Keep the knees together and open the feet wide. And flex the feet. So again, you're internally rotating the femur. The abs are going to go a lot flatter because the psoas isn't pulling up to try and connect because it's being stretched. So therefore, you're going to work your abdominals for strength, not just to try and keep the psoas down as well. Okay? So now you get much, much stronger abs in a shorter space of time by using this position here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is talk about where the hand position is behind the head. So if you can sit up for a second with your back to the camera. In this position here, when a lot of people have their hands behind the head, they'll have them here on their temples or behind their ears. Just do that for a second, Cara. Okay, so notice if you're doing stomach crunches, for example, and your hands are here by your ears, which is what most people do, notice the angle of the humerus here. It's almost at a right angle to the torso here. The muscle that connects from the humerus to your torso here is called your latissimus dorsi, or your lats, or that V-shaped bodybuilders get. Okay? Its function is to actually stabilize your shoulder. So if you squeeze your shoulder blades down, it connects over here. And you can feel that. If you do it, you can feel that connection there if you bring your arm down. If you're doing a lat pull down, for example, that's why it's called a lat pull down. But if you connect this muscle here, when you're contracting or curling forward, the function of this muscle, once you've curled past this certain point here, is to actually, when it connects, is to pull you down, so it brings you back to the floor, so you can't do your stomach crunches correctly. You've got to get this lat out of the way as much as possible in order for you to curl the upper part of your back. So, standing upright, we've got what we call here the top position. So you're going to interlock your thumbs and your fingers. So your thumbs are just touching each other, okay? And never, ever, ever put your thumbs on your neck. So thumbs down here like this. Never do that when you're doing stomach crunches because whatever you touch works. You will strain your neck if your thumbs are there. So get your thumbs up to here. And in the base of your skull, lift your hands up just higher. In the base of your skull, right up here, where the skull dips in, and you'll feel that if you put your finger there, put your thumbs into that spot there. Okay? Notice how high the thumbs are. They're not going to strain the neck. They're not going to touch the neck. That little dip in the skull there is called your occiput. This position here, where it's thumbs on occiput, we call top position. Capital T, capital O, capital P. Thumbs on occiput. Not exactly the letters, but it works. So whenever you've got your hands behind your head, always have this position here. The other major point that we've instigated now is whenever you're doing stomach crunches, don't pull on your head. Press your head into your hands 5% and let the abs do the work to curl forward. So let's get you back onto your back again. Doing the offering. 90-degree angle at the knee joint. Knees together, feet wide open, feet flexed. Hands in top position. Take a breath in. Elbows a little bit wider. And an ocean breath out to bring your ribs to your hips. Good. Keeping your eyes up here, chin up here. Keep going. When you go back, don't go all the way back as well. So you want to keep the muscle continuously working. If you take a rest with your head touching the cushion, you're going 1, 1, 1, not 10 continual actions. So you're resting in between each repetition. Keep the abs scooped in and going back too far. Just to there, that's enough. And forward. Now, keep the elbows wider. Press your head into your hands 5%. That's it. So keep the head pressed into the hands. Can you feel the abs connecting a bit more then? By pressing the head back that way, you're actually working your abs harder. You're also working them harder because of the position of your legs here. So a couple of major points happening here to work your abs, and notice how flat they are. Okay? If you bring your feet together, okay? And now just pull on your neck when you come forward. Notice how it pops up as well. Straight away you can see it popping up the center here, and relax, and you will strain your neck. Okay? Now, we're going to go over some breathing techniques as well. So we've got 5 different breathing rules, and they're very, very specific when it comes to specific exercises. They cover the majority of exercises in Pilates, Menezes Pilates, or even in the gym. So when your arms are vertically in the air, this is rule number 1A. When the arms are vertically in the air, palms are facing in. When your arms go overhead, breathe out. So, and flatten the rib cage. So breathing out, flatten the rib cage. So you're trying to keep that lumbar coin down as well. When you lift from the triceps, breathing in. And coming up, breathing in. Okay, so whenever you're using a long lever, the principle here is never lift from the distal part of the lever because you will strain the joint. Work from the proximal muscle by the joint, and that will work that muscle there. So when you release, breathe out to let go, flatten the rib cage, good, and then lift from the triceps, breathing in. That'll stabilize your shoulder. So it's a breath out to go over, and a breath in to come up. Now, let's try the reverse. Breathe in, huge deep breath in when you go over. And notice the back wants to arch. You can see the rib cage popping out and the back is definitely arched more. So you're not stabilizing your back at all if you do that breathing where you breathe in to go over, which is what most people want to do. The same with the legs here. So when the legs or the arms move from the vertical away from your center, breathe out. So rule number 1A, when the arms and the legs move from the vertical away from the center, breathe out. Breathing rule 1B. So, Kara, you can take your arms up into the air, vertical, just above the chest here. And 1B is when your arms or your legs move laterally away from the median, which is the line straight down your middle, called the median, M-E-D-I-A-N. You breathe in. So breathe in to open and out to close. And again. And remember, you're working the muscle proximal to the rotating joint. So squeezing from your bicep, forgetting about the hand. Even if you have a weight in the hand, forget about it. Just work from the bicep muscle. It'll work the pec muscle better as well. So breathe in to open and also close the rib cage. So the breathing still comes into this. It's ocean breath out. So close the rib cage and that'll also firm up the thoracic area and work the abdominals more. Okay, the next breathing rule. It's a very, very simple rule. Whenever contracting, rotating, or side flexing your torso, breathe out. So if you're contracting into the position here, Kara, just curling forward, that's a breath out. Don't hold your breath. I see so many people doing these exercises, they hold their breath when they go up and down. So breathe in and ocean breath out. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, the next one is sitting upright, part of this breathing rule, sitting upright. Okay, and you're going to rotate. So bring your hands out in front of you in genie position. Okay, and breathing out. Okay, stop right there. Notice how far Kara's gone on the breath out. Come back to the center. Okay, now breathe in to turn. You don't get as much rotation. You actually feel very restricted because your lungs are full. Okay, so it's always breathe out on rotation as well. So let's face the camera this time. And we're going to go into side flexion. So you can just cross your legs if you like. And take your arms just out to the sides. And you're going to go over to the side like that, but breathe in. Okay? Notice how much side flexion there is here. And remember, this is the B line you're using here on side flexion. Squeeze the core, come back up again. This time again, you're going to go over to the same side, this time breathing out. And notice the difference in the movement. The lungs are empty. You've got to keep this a bit stable as well, but